Okay, so welcome to DevNexus, right, where we're running here. I'm Bruno Souza, and I'm being an interviewer for a day, where we are here at the Neo4j podcast, FikaAI, right? So that is a good place for you to take coffee and talk about AI with cool people. And today I have here my good friend, the amazing Eyal. Hey, Eyal, how you doing?
Very good, thank you.
So Eyal is, from the people that I know, Eyal is probably one of the has been studying AI for longest, right? So he has a master degree on AI in many years ago. He wrote a book about generic algorithms. He runs the AI for Java. That's a virtual user group, right? And that he runs with this other amazing person, Yolande Pourrier, right? That's you might know them. You might know her from somewhere, right? But and so, hey, y'all, how's the whole AI industry going?
Well, it's been running very quickly in the last couple of years, and it's still moving very fast. And it's a little bit hard almost to keep track of it. But there is a lot of stuff that already has become mainstream, and there are a lot of applications and companies that deal with it, and you can see it in this conference also. Things like vector databases became very common, RAG applications or trivial augmentation generation, and the Java. There are already some Java frameworks that became mature, like the LangChain4j and Spring.io, and it's the second. You could always see them last DevNexus conference with applications, and now it's like the sort of the next generation of the same applications, and I think it will continue. Python is a little bit ahead of Java, so LangChain came from Python, became LangChain4j. Now there is a LangGraph, which enables you to write more sophisticated applications, and probably that will carry into the Java space as well.
Okay, that's very cool. And so here at DevNexus, we do have lots of those players here with us. So Lisa from LangChain4j, she's here. She's actually giving mentoring right now. The guys from Spring are here, right?
And Red Hat with Quarkus, they showed their version of working with LangChain.
Yeah, and of course Neo4j, right? That's actually doing this graph database, right? So they're using AI for that. So that's awesome. We talk about career, Eyal. Do you think that for developers that they're not because most of the developers are not actually implementing AI algorithms and things like this, right? They're just kind of implementing, maybe server-side enterprise applications. Do you think AI has a place on those areas?
Yes, well, first, every developer will be affected or is already affected by the tools that are available that are AI-based. So you really need to know to use them or to get used to them and how to get the most out of them. And they change very rapidly, so you need to keep up with it to some degree. If you don't, I think it's going to be a problem down the road, or maybe already. And then the applications that you program. Well, programming for AI is not inherently different. A lot of the programming is done through REST APIs, or if you use one of the frameworks, there are dedicated beans that you can add, or all kind of interfaces that are predefined. But you need to understand at least some of the working of them, how things are being orchestrated, even when it's hidden behind the scenes. And basically, there are like 3 or 4 different things that are not very complicated to understand in general, that you can learn that will enable you to create an application or look at an application or see, here, this is how we can solve this problem. But a lot of problems that we used to solve with a lot of programming and trying to find rules and trying to find algorithms, they are now all of a sudden become very easy or a very different approach. So you need to have this set of little bit state of mind of can we use this technology to solve it? And maybe in many cases the answer is probably no. You should know also to figure that out. But I think you should, if you don't do it already at work, do it at home. Play around with these frameworks. There is a lot of information. There's a lot of YouTube videos, and play around and get the feel for it. And then you'll also see what works, what doesn't work, what works better.
Yeah, because I think that's this whole AI field, right? So when it started, everyone was talking about algorithms, the math, and LLMs, and all this kind of things. But in reality, the more those things get encapsulated inside frameworks, inside tools, the more you can use those tools, those frameworks, those APIs to use AI instead of implement AI. We keep talking about,
Correct, yeah.
Let's implement AI in our project, right? But actually, it's more and more, let's use AI to solve a problem, right?
Right.
And so now, I know lots of people kind of worried about how AI is going to, destroy my job, or how AI is going to give me a new job or something like this. But in reality is, do you see how AI is going to transform? Because that's one thing that lots of people talk about, right? So how AI is going to transform the way we develop software. Do you see that happening anytime soon, really?
I don't know how soon, but I think still while you and me are still working, there will be, I think, the code writing and code generation will be very different. I think more and more of it will be done with AI, maybe to the extent that it will almost all be done with AI. And the people who nowadays write software will have to somehow reinvent themselves and their roles that they have in the development of software. There are already some, I've heard it in some conversation here also, that we will need to be like a higher level of a programmer. We will have to be more of an architect, or somebody that can define the requirements of what the software will be to some degree, or in a declarative way, and let the LLMs generate it. What I think personally, I'm afraid of a possibility where AI will decide what the next AI will do, and then we can have a problem because we will not have control of it.
Right. Well, so the way I see this, right, is because look, writing code is different, of course, right? But we can correlate to writing a book, right? So that's you expressing your ideas, you're telling a story, you're solving a problem by writing code, right? And I don't see. No matter how many books AI generates, right? I don't see AI coming up with Harry Potter, for example, right?
Yeah.
They can come with different things, and so no matter what happens, right? But I can see someone that wants to write a book using AI to keep track of the characters, to understand better how the story fits together, how to phrase better the story, right? So, and I think that's the same thing that's going to happen with software development, right? We're going to have people that are going to be able to tell the story, that solve the problem, and they're going to guide AI to actually do that and solve the problem, right? So maybe the way that we generate code is going to be different, right? We might have, because right now we use language to generate code, right? And AI is great to generate language, but it's for example, I use AI all the time to generate text, right? And so if you guide it the right way, it generates great content. But if you just let it work by itself, right, it does not generate good content. So I think that developers more and more, they're going to be those guides, right, that will guide AI to generate a large amount of code, right, that we don't have to type by hand anymore. But it's still there's going to be someone that has to drive it.
Yes, that's a good description.
Okay. All right. So and in terms of tools, right? So what are the tools? If I'm a developer right now, what are the 2 or 3 tools that I definitely must experiment?
Well, you have when you write code, you would have some tools that you can install inside your IDE. So we actually at the Jacksonville JAG had the speaker show 3 tools that were somewhat different, but they were all mostly equivalent. One of them was GitHub Copilot. The other one is the IntelliJ. It has its own Copilot that I think that's what it's called, but I'm not sure. But it runs inside IntelliJ.
Yeah, everyone has one of those, right? So Amazon has Amazon Q, right? There's all kinds of ones that works with the IDEs, right?
Pretty much, yes. And he showed another tool called I think Kudo. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly with the Q. and they're quite impressive. You can tell them what files to look at, and then you can write. You can tell it, for example, this is an interesting approach. You can give it some requirements, then tell it to generate test cases, so it will be a TDD, and then you tell it implement the software that will pass those tests. And if they don't, you can tell it just keep correcting it until it passes. But you can just go and start by just writing the code the other way around. I personally use, in many cases, directly ChatGPT or Gemini or just external tools that are not sitting inside the IDE. But I think over time, the tools inside the IDE will be there will be no point to really go outside. They will be good enough to do anything you want.
Okay. That's really cool. All right, so guys, this is we are here on the Fika, right? FikaAI. You know, let me tell you this. Fika means coffee, right? In some kind of weird language or somewhere in the world, right?
Sitting
you know,
for
so
a coffee.
We're gonna sit down for a coffee here with friends, right? And you guys always enjoying us here, so thanks very much. Thanks for Neo4j for having us here. Thanks for DevNexus, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.